everyone. Welcome back. I'm glad you've found your way over into this session. Excited to welcome Christian Sosa to the virtual stage, who is the Donald Payne Fellowship's Program Manager with Howard University. Christian, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Well, so in our previous session with Erin, she touched a little bit on the Payne Fellowship and how it's a great vehicle for helping some of the DEIA goals at USAID. But maybe you can tell us a little bit more about it and what this fellowship is all about.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with a little bit of the history of the Payne Fellowship. So Payne Fellowship was founded in 2012 with the goal of identifying and developing members of diverse and historically underrepresented groups for a career in the Foreign Service. So it's following the footsteps of two State Department fellowships, the Wrangell and the Pickering Fellowship. So we are the third of the diplomatic fellowship team, all managed by Howard University. And for diversity for us, we're looking at a couple different lenses. So we're, of course, looking at gender diversity. We're looking at racial and ethnic diversity, geographic diversity, and as well as socioeconomic diversity.
Yeah, that's great. And, what can somebody who's maybe interested in this fellowship, what can they expect? What is it that they do? Some of the benefits and opportunities that come along with it. Maybe give us an overview of what the fellowship entails.
Yes, so there's a ton of benefits, a lot of great things. So starting with the funding that we provide to our fellows. So the award package is up to $96,000 in funding to help support their studies at a 2-year master's level program based here in the United States. So that's breaking that down just a little bit. It's $27 that's allocated for your tuition and $16,000 that's allocated for your as a living stipend. We also do cover the expenses for 2 summer internships, one of which would be domestic on Capitol Hill, the second of which will be overseas with USAID mission. Throughout the course of 2 years, we are pretty intentional in the programming we do for our fellows and making sure that they're networking with senior Foreign Service officers, receiving mentoring from them, having professional development to help them on these skills. Because although we do fund graduate studies, the primary focus is to prepare you for a successful career as a Foreign Service officer. And there is a 5-year service requirement upon graduation. So as we like to say, you get the fellowship, you get the job, but you should be staying at the job for at least 5 years upon receiving this fellowship.
Yeah, and so thinking about applications and eligibility, assuming you need to be a U.S. citizen for this particular program, is that correct? And is this something that you would apply before going to graduate school or for current graduate students?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our eligibility requirements are pretty simple. You have to be a U.S. citizen in order to apply. You must have at least a 3.2 cumulative GPA at the time of application, and you must be intending to start a graduate program. So unfortunately, those who are currently in a graduate program are not able to apply. However, if you want to pursue a new graduate program, starting in the fall for this application cycle, it would be fall 2022, then you'd be eligible to apply. Those who already have graduate degrees are certainly welcome to apply as well. You just need to be pursuing a new graduate degree using the Payne Fellowship that is still relevant to USAID's work in the Foreign Service, but significantly different than the graduate degree you already have.
All right, well, it's good incentive with the financial package that comes along with it. So I know you have the application deadline coming up, I think November 15th. Can you talk a little bit about what the application entails and for those who are interested, what they would need to do to prepare or expect?
Yeah, so our deadline is November 15th. It's been extended 2 weeks. It used to be November 1st, but we want to give everyone more time to work on their applications. Some of the parts that take a little bit more time in developing your application would be your transcripts. We do require transcripts from wherever you have received coursework, including community college, transfer credits, all that great stuff. You do have a 600 words personal statement, which is your opportunity to tell us who you are, why you're interested in the Payne Fellowship. And the best way I like to put it is, how is the Payne Fellowship the next logical step in your career to becoming a Foreign Service officer? We do also ask for financial information, Most notably, we do ask for the student aid report, which is generated from you filling out a FAFSA. That in itself can take about 3 to 5 business days to receive. So if you do want to apply and you haven't started yet, I would definitely start there first and make sure you fill out your FAFSA to get it in time for the deadline. And of course, a couple of different parts that I would encourage you to do. Just make sure you're reviewing your application package in its totality, making sure that it's all written very well. We do ask for 2 letters of recommendation, one of which comes typically from a faculty member, although it could also be substituted as for a professional reference. And the other one would be coming from what we like to call a community leader, someone who could speak about your commitment to service, your work ethic, why this is the right career path for you. So all in all, we ask you to tell us a lot of different things about you, show many different sides of you. That way we can see you as a full rounded applicant.
Yeah, and Erin mentioned even expanding the fellowship. How many fellowships will you be able to offer this round?
Yeah, so we are currently looking to select 15 fellows for this cohort. So I'm not sure if Erin gave this background, but we started out with selecting 2 fellows in 2013, and now we're up to 15. So we're looking forward to continued growth in the program, both in the amount of fellows we accept and also the amount of funding we give them, because we know graduate school costs are just continuing to rise.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've worked with many of these fellows over the years. What have been kind of the highlights for them for being part of this program?
2 things come to mind that they talk to me about all the time. The first of which is the cohort mentality. So we don't like to select fellows to be individuals in the program. We're selecting you to be part of this network. We're selecting you now as a team of 15 to grow together and have this both inner network within your cohort and then across all the cohorts, right? There's a very big sense of family and support within the Payne Fellowship community that makes me super proud to be a part of. In terms of more tangible experiences they have during the program, the overseas internship is probably the highlight for many of our fellows because it's their experience, their ability to experience what a foreign service lifestyle looks like, right? You're signing up for this career, you got this funding, and now you get to fully realize, like, all right, this is what it's like to work abroad, to live abroad, to have these colleagues working in all these different spheres. So definitely those are the 2 big highlights that I hear most often.
Great. Well, thank you, Christian, so much for taking some time to share more about the Payne Fellowship. As you know, the deadline is approaching. I encourage anyone who's interested to go ahead and start working on that application due November 15th. I know we have additional resources in the Hopin platform to talk more about that fellowship and the application process. So encourage those of you who are interested in exploring more to check out those resources. But again, thank you, Christian. Now we are going to jump into the last session, which is our information session and audience Q&A, where we really will invite you to ask your questions about pursuing a career with USAID. So again, thank you, Christian. And now I will see you all over in the next session in just a moment.